Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana everything and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a match review for what turned out to be a rather emotional night. FC Barcelona, of course, getting the win that they needed at home against Almeria. 2-0 win with goals from Ousmane Dembele and Frenkie de Jong, and of course, as much as that win was necessary and it has, it was good for Barcelona, this game was really about one man and one man only because, like we spoke about in my previous upload from yesterday, this was Gerard Pique's final match as an FC Barcelona player, and oh my goodness, there were so many onions being cut in the room that I was in. I will say that, okay? While Gerard Pique was giving his speech, there was a lot of onions being cut where I was, my eyes got moist a little bit. It was just so great to be able to just take a second to look back at everything that Gerard Pique has achieved. There was this quote I saw from him where he was saying that this is from, of course, before his retirement, right? And he was saying that he never really thinks about his achievements because if he does that, then he will lose focus and he will stop trying to do his best in the moment. So he would rather wait until he had retired to think about his achievements. Whatever you might think of him, either for his on-field or off-field antics and whatnot, like, he is at the end of the day a legend at this club, and for what he did for FC Barcelona on the pitch and for what he did for FC Barcelona off it as well. We're talking about all this money that he's walking away from, on the money he walked away from last season as well. And this is really someone who has a love for the club. To be able to see him get that ovation from the Camp Nou, to be able to see him at least go out with a proper goodbye, unlike Messi, because Messi never got that. He deserved it, of course, but that's something for another day. Gerard Pique at least got what he deserved here, and it was great. He actually played a great match, by the way. He won almost all his duels. If I'm not mistaken, he did win all of his aerial duels and ground duels, and he was 4 for 4 on long passes. It was a great day from him. Of course, someone might argue that it was a compliant opponent in Almeria because they were never really trying to attack in that first half. But we'll talk more about that while we're going into the match review portion of this video. But for now, we're just saying thank you to Gerard Pique. On behalf of all Kool-Aids, we say thank you. When I say we, I mean me, but delusions of grandeur. Thank you, Gerard Pique, for everything you've done for FC Barcelona, and hopefully there will be better memories with him to come in future. Okay, now that we've gotten that emotional bit of news out of the way, we can go ahead and do the usual with the match previews. So, going to talk about tactical setup, then get into my negatives and my positives, and finally, I will give you the man of the match. But before I do all of that, there's just this one small little thing that I'd like you to do. Yes, you watching this video or listening to podcasts, all right, and if you're not yet a subscriber or a follower, please do go ahead and hit those buttons, those subscribe, those follow buttons. Go ahead and hit those buttons, my guy or my girl. Do that for us. And also, if you're enjoying this and you're watching from YouTube here, go ahead and hit like. And you can hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about everything so far. What are your thoughts on Gerard Pique as well? Yeah, anywho, without further ado, let's go ahead and look at tactical setup. FC Barcelona set up in the usual 4-3-3. There were some changes again from the match in midweek, the match against Puzzeni, and we saw Marc-Andre ter Stegen return in goal, and we saw starts as well for Alejandro Balde and Gerard Pique, who were playing alongside Marcos Alonso and Jordi Alba. And in the middle, we saw Frenkie de Jong, Sergio Busquets, and Pedri get the nod, getting the start ahead of the likes of Xavi. And up front, Ferran Torres continued in the starting 11 after that wonderful display he had in midweek, and alongside him was Robert Lewandowski and Ousmane Dembele. Almeria, on the other hand, set up in a 5-3-2 formation, and they had Fernando Martinez in goal with Mendes, Kaiki, Eli, Chumi, and Akiemi. Of course, Chumi and Akiemi, former FC Barcelona players. Shout out to those people who watch Barca B and remember these guys. um, people like me. And in midfield, there was Robertoni, Costa, and Milero, and up front, Ramazani and Leo Baptistao. All right, so having said all of that, let's get into some of these negatives and positives. And, we'll start with the negatives as usual. Was there a negative here today? Yeah, there was a negative actually, just one. Barcelona's finishing today, it kind of followed the trend from the match against Piuzzeni in midweek, okay? And also actually last weekend against Valencia. There were a lot of good chances here that Barcelona just couldn't take. Robert Lewandowski missing a penalty. Ousmane Dembele missing what felt like an easy tap-in with a header. Ferran Torres, of course, did have an effort cleared off the line, so, we can't fault him too much on that one. But he did as well waste a few chances. And actually, in that first half, to borrow a phrase from a commentator, there was the scent of goals, but the execution just wasn't there. No matter who it was, whether it was Ferran, whether it was Lewandowski, whether it was Dembele. But of course, Barca did finally get an early breakthrough in the second half, which I was happy to see, because had Barca not been able to score that early in the second half, we could have been in for quite a long night. Anyway, coming from there, then we can go ahead and talk positives. My first positive is kind of like a continuation once again from the match against Piuzzeni and the match against Valencia. Barcelona were creating quite a lot of chances. That was good to see. The work, especially how the combination we had today of wingers and fullbacks, did a very good job of working together, I think. Baude and Dembele down that right-hand side had a good understanding, and so did Ferran and Jordi Alba, who honestly were looking telepathic at moments in that first half. And it was good to see that. Of course, it continued as well when Rafinha and Fati came on. We still saw Fati combining well with Jordi Alba. We still saw Rafinha combining well with Alejandro Baude. And of course, it was a combination of the former that led to the second goal for FC Barcelona. Jordi Alba picked out Ansu Fati in the box. Ansu Fati, unfortunately, was stopped by the goalkeeper, but luckily enough, Frenkie de Jong was there to tap in that rebound. My other positive here is, of course, that Barcelona got the W, okay? Barcelona got the win. Like I said last week and the week before that, okay, FC Barcelona have so far won every match they've played since the international break, except for that, anomalous result against Real Madrid. Yeah, FC Barcelona got this win, which they needed to be able to go top. And right now, they're 2 points clear of Real Madrid, at least until Monday night when Real play. So, we at least get a nice, easy Sunday on the top of the table, all right? Like, you count your blessings. You take what you can get. And another positive, actually, to go with FC Barcelona's play in the final third was the counter-pressing today. The pressing in general, and especially the counter-pressing. So, counter-pressing is the pressing you do just immediately after you lose the ball. Yeah. So, Barcelona were really good with that today, and they prevented so many counter-attacks by Almeria, just by having a very, very good counter press. And the man who led that counter press very well, actually quite brilliantly, was Frenkie de Jong, who it seems is a Blaugrana Everything subscriber and watches these videos, right? Because I've been railing on and on and on in big matches about how FC Barcelona players need to learn to start fouling the opponent before they can transition into a counter-attack. And Frenkie de Jong did that time and time again today. Miraculously got away without getting booked. I don't know how he did that, but he needs to keep that up, and he needs to teach it to every one of his teammates. Okay, that was a good performance from Barca in going forwards, and also just, defensively with the press and with the counter press. Alrighty, I'm done with negatives and positives. Wait, no, I'm not. There's still one more positive here, and it was another clean sheet for Marc-Andre clean sheets ter Stegen. Honestly speaking, this clean sheet was completely down to him because he made a tremendous save in the first half off of Ramazani after an error that was by, I think, Frenkie de Jong, giving the ball away. Ramazani was in 1v1 and Marc-Andre ter Stegen just, with balls of steel stopped the ball from going in. It was a brilliant save from him, of course. And kudos to Marcos Alonso as well for his recovery on that attack. But yeah, that's my negatives and positives, guys. So it means now we just have to pick a man of the match. And this is one of those days where I was conflicted. And so I have two players who are going to be called man of the match. The first one is the player that was like the player, the player who had the best game here, okay? And that was, of course, Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong, of course, edged it just by a smidge, okay, from the other person who was man of the match, who just so happened to have been the guy on the day, okay? Like, look, you're going to go out, you better go out with a performance like that one. Gerard Pique showing everybody how it's done. And yeah, Gerard Pique is the man of the match alongside Frankie de Jong. With de Jong, of course, he just had one of those brilliant matches today, to be honest. He almost didn't set a foot wrong. You know, like I said earlier on, he did have a bad giveaway that led to that chance for Ramazani. And he also had another one which didn't really come to anything because of some good defensive recovery on part of FC Barcelona. Frankie de Jong today was the player that Barcelona needed him to be. He was doing all sorts of things, including throwing step-overs and taking shots at goal. You know, like, he was in his element today, and that was great to see. And of course, Gerard Pique, like, you know, one more is there for me to say. I can't really think of anything. So, kudos to Gerard Pique. Thank you once again, and congratulations to him for ending his career on a high as Blaugrana. Everything, man of the match. You know, such a prestigious honor. He can put it right up there next to his World Cups and Euros and Champions Leagues and La Ligas and Copa del Rey's and Super Copa and Club World Cup and European Super Cup and Catalan Cup. I don't know. This guy's won so many things. But yeah, let me know your thoughts though on the match in the comment section. And you know, who's your man of the match? Did you disagree with me picking Gerard Pique as man of the match? I mean, like, you know, let me know. Thank you for tuning in once again. Have a great day and Forza Barca.